And some guy came up to me and said, I saw you on Fox and Friends this morning. Is Gretchen as cute in person as she is on TV?
And what did you answer, America?
Gorgeous, gorgeous. Look at her today. Beautiful dress. You look wonderful.
It was the only sexist person that came on here and made you laugh. All right?
Well, other than sit next to you every day.
Right, that's true.
Would you like to correct yourself on that other talking point about men being dominant?
Oh, we don't have any time. I wish I did. We're running over.
Okay, because HR's on the phone because you called me a skirt.
Moments like that making for awkward morning TV on Fox. But if former anchor Gretchen Carlson is to be believed, that was just the tip of the iceberg of what she faced while working at Fox. These, again, her allegations. Former Miss America, whose contract was not renewed in June, suing her former boss and the architect of Fox News, Roger Ailes, by the way, living in Putnam, for those of you in the Valley. Of course, we have no idea where the truth is in the allegations at this point or her descriptions of what actually happened, but it is hard to miss the PR game now playing out before our eyes. Carlson beginning to do press under the watchful eyes of her attorneys, relaying stories of Ailes' inappropriate comments and advances. This, as other accusers begin to come forward, establishing, one would say, a pattern of Ailes' behavior. Some cases 50 years old. Think of this as the Cosby approach, the drip, drip, drip of stories shaping public opinion. For their side, Fox and Ailes, they now, and they know how to shape opinions as well. Big star Sean Hannity, Van Susteren, Elizabeth Hasselbeck, Geraldo Rivera's, and others, they're coming to Ailes' defense. And Fox playing offense, seeking to move the case from state to federal court and pushing to impose arbitration on the case, claiming Carlson breached her contract. All right, I'm going to get the legality in a second, but Jimmy, could we be seeing the beginning of a new kind of pattern, especially when we're talking about civil cases here, not criminal, that you kind of step this whole out, you hire not just an attorney to bring your case, but a PR firm, you solicit others, and you have kind of a 3 or 4 stage prong approach where you'll make the claim, you'll have other people come forward, you'll drive up former cases involved with it, you'll make it impossible for a public figure, in this case somebody in broadcasting, at least the industry side, to not let this drag on, so they write a check to make it go away. I'm not talking about truth or not truth on this. I'm talking about strategy, at least, in handling it.
Well, from a strategic standpoint, you're absolutely right. If you're able to pour it on that way, then you're going to want them to stop the spigot, and that might force them to hopefully enter into some kind of a confidential settlement. But on the other hand, what you're seeing, and you know, the Cosby approach, if in fact this is something that happened, then perhaps this is a sign of good things to come, where what has happened is, if you go public and you go public enough, then you will have other women who were also in the same position willing to come forward and join you, and that's just the price you pay if you commit this kind of conduct. And it's been a little too long that women are afraid that the careers are going to get ruined if they come forward, and so perhaps from that perspective, it's a good thing.
Now, from a purely legal standpoint, from the spirit of the law as much as the letter, if a case is entered on a civil case with a target for a settlement, okay, is there anything wrong about that, where you're going into it knowing you're going to be pressuring the person for them to write the check?
Well, that's what a lawsuit is. You know, you're going in, you're attempting to reach a resolution. One side wants lower or nothing, and the other side's looking to maximize their demand.
Well, let me put the naivete on for a second. If you're going to bring a lawsuit, you have a number in mind that you're looking, that you're saying this is what we're seeking in compensatory damages. On the flip side, if you're saying, I'm going to pressure this guy till he wants this to go away, so he'll write a check somewhere between zero, where he had in mind, and what I'm looking for, do you have any problem with that at all?
No, and it depends on what kind of case. In automobile cases, that doesn't happen. You're looking at what the value of the damages are. In these kinds of cases, it depends on, there's going to be an allegation, then there's going to be quite often a response to that allegation. Now, an allegation itself may not be what triggers the coverage in the media. It might be the response. And if someone gives a response you feel is false, then you have every right to go into the media to correct that response. The other thing is, here we're talking about what did or did not occur. And to Jim's point, if it actually happened, well, then at that point, certainly you ought to be able to shed light on it. And beyond that, there's a suggestion that she's no longer truthful. And this is a person who was an anchor on a national, international, really, news agency. So she's going to not be able to work
Fox
again.
is the pillar of objectivity and credibility in
Well,
journalism.
if they had a
now?
problem, though, Mark, if they had a problem with her journalistic integrity, they being Fox, one would have thought they wouldn't have kept her on. Here's my question to you.
Right.
You're representing her right now. Do you feel that you're in the driver's seat when it comes to jurisdiction for the case, and also them claiming, hey, you had a contract here, there's breach, because we said any problems would be handled internally, I want arbitration. Where it's held in terms of what kind of court and arbitration, what do you feel if you're in the Carlson
There's
camp?
a strong national policy embodied in a federal statute that favors arbitration. So if there's an arbitration agreement in the contract, which I have not read, and the arbitration agreement covers the conduct that's alleged in the contract, it's going to be arbitrated in the first instance.
Although there may be criminal conduct here as well, we don't know. So some of this conduct may rise to the level of aggravated harassment, stalking, and that cannot be mandated to be covered by arbitration.
You know, one reason they want arbitration, though, that can be confidential. You can keep all of this quiet in arbitration, whereas in court, it's going to be out there for
And
everyone
if
to
it
see.
is in court, Brian, arguably, it's the culture, not just of the man, but of the environment that he helped create and foster. And as anybody knows who follows this isn't the first claim that in that particular news shop, there's been a lot of this going on.
And you can go after the organization as well once you prove it's the culture. So that's a bigger target.
And just remember, the other women don't work for Fox, so they're not subject to arbitration. So that's a problem. You can have the Megan Fox situation in arbitration, but if these other women come forward and make a claim, you can't put that.
Megan
in
Carlson, I
arbitration.
think
Megan
you're
Carlson.
thinking
Megan
of her.
Carlson, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I know
She
who you're
was,
talking about.
making very, very high ratings for them, was she not? So
I'm not entirely sure. I know that her contract was expiring, and whatever, who knows, true, not true, assess any motivations to the woman or not. To me, you know, this is the first time I've seen somebody go after a network of this thing where they've seemed to lay out their strategy rather than make a claim, and then the network has a strategy to break down the person. It's fascinating, at least from my end,
she is
that a
media
single
savvy.
individual, well, absolutely, a single individual
is she
seems to be
did she
driving
quit,
at least.
or is she claiming that she was constructively
They
discharged?
did not renew
meaning-
her contract,
I see.
and she's claiming it wasn't renewed because of performance. It was because she rebuffed sexual advances.
that
on the
sounds
part
like
of
a
the
pretty
And
person.
then you can
case.
also look at what happened with Megyn Kelly and Donald Trump, and it seemed that Megyn Kelly was the one who was punished after the comments were made by Donald Trump about whether she was bleeding and where she may have been
I don't
bleeding.
know. She's an A-lister now because of that whole
Yeah, but
controversy.
she went
right?
away for about a month or so. You just didn't see her.
No such thing as bad press.
That's right.
Exactly.
Well,
that's the
we'll
KISS
see now.
school of
I'm sure-
publicity.
I'm sure-
And the Trump school of publicity.
But I'm sure Fox right now doesn't like this press. But anyway, coming up next, you knew we were going to have to talk about Pokemon going on RFL at some point, right? Well, I didn't before this week. Anyway, tonight is the night as we break down, I still don't understand it, but this smartphone game craze, and it's sparking questions about privacy, safety, potential liability, and we'll answer what might be the most pressing Pokemon question of all. What the heck are we talking about?